Jim Dion, retail consultant, is here to explain what's going on. Welcome back, Jim.
Thank you.
So the unemployment rate just under 10%. You would think that consumers would still want to be cautious, but what's really going on out there?
Well, they're still cautious, but they're coming back. I mean, the American consumer is, you can beat them down with a stick, but eventually they're going to come back. And there is just a tremendous amount of pent-up demand in a number of different sectors. And we're just starting to see that consumer who is recession-weary saying, you know, enough, I want to get on with my life. And so, you know, we still have 90% employed.
True.
So, yeah.
I know, looking at the glass half full here. In recent weeks, stores like Williams-Sonoma increased its dividend. Tiffany reported better sales. So are those signs that the luxury segment in particular is coming back?
Well, I'm not sure I'd place Williams-Sonoma in the luxury segment per se, but, you know, yeah, definitely in kind of want merchandise as opposed to need merchandise. So, yes, that segment is beginning to show some life, and that consumer, once again, is cautiously opening their wallets.
And we've also seen some interesting trends going on with the niche retailers like Guess, Coach, limited brands. They really seem to be doing well. So what do you think the reason is behind that? Well,
they also, as with Williams-Sonoma and a lot of the others, they over the recession, they rationalized a lot of their business. So they closed underperforming stores. They really took serious looks at their inventory. They did a lot of things to get their companies back to health. And so now they're able to operate at a much lower sales dollar and still, you know, increase their profitability. So they're in very good shape for this you know, consumer comeback.
And then what about the discount stores, which did so well during this recession, like Walmart and Costco? Do you think they will see less business in an economic recovery?
They're going to struggle. I mean, that's a very good question. Walmart, for example, with their Project Impact, where they've been redoing all of their stores to keep that little bit higher level customer, they're struggling a little bit with that at the moment. And even the lower end stores, the dollar stores, as the consumer begins to come back, I think the love affair is going to end. I think they're going to, you know, cast off their old haunts.
Well, it's interesting with these ultra discounters like Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. Let's take a look at the long-term 5-year stock charts, and you can see the popularity actually does go down after a recession ends, as the recovery begins. But is there anything at all about these economic times, because this recession was so harsh on so many people, is there anything about these times that perhaps would allow these ultra discounters to keep their customers that they have?
Unfortunately not, because I mean they're not going to lose all their customers.
Right.
But they will lose that percentage of customers who were forced to go to that particular channel simply because they didn't have the money in their pocket. Now, as that consumer begins to get some of that money back, you know, I think they're going to trade back up the retail food chain, as it were.
And who's going to benefit from consumers trading up? Is it the Targets or JCPenney's or Sears?
Oh, clearly the Targets of the world, the JCPenney's of the world, not so much Sears, but yeah, that whole middle market of retail, and then their customers are also going to move up a little notch too. And so we saw a real downshift of all consumer markets over the last 2 years. Now we're going to see that shift going back up again.
What about the huge sales that we saw back in 2008 and 2009? Is that a thing of the past?
The real super deals, yeah. Yeah, they're you can pretty much kiss them goodbye.
Well, what's the strategy for retailers from here on out then?
Well, there will be sales, but there will be sales that we have, as in the past, planned for. There will be genuine markdowns when we've made a stupid buy, and you can still get those kinds of deals. You know, one person's, you know, fabulous product is another person's like, what were you thinking? So there'll still be those opportunistic buys, but the massive, you know, walking into a store on Michigan Avenue and having, you know, them greet you with 40% off everything in the store today, those days are gone.
Not so much. Okay, that's too bad. All right, thank you very much, Jim Dion, retail consultant. We appreciate it. Still ahead, Toyota competitors attempt to lure in customers in the wake of recent recalls and safety concerns. That's next after this In the Know message.